Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Halo Infinite Turret Takedown set. And this set is actually a Dollar General exclusive. You can see right here, it retails for $10. That's Dollar General's price tag, and they just slap it on there. So this is a Dollar General exclusive. And I've heard that in like Canada and other countries, they have shown up in Walmart, I think. And obviously, if you're in a place with a Toys R Us, then there's a high chance they'll carry it. But if you're in the US, you'll need to look at Dollar General for this. And it's a pretty interesting looking set. We got two figures in there, a couple builds, a Grunt and a Hazop Spartan. There's the back. There is no alternate build for this because it's such a small set, but I've seen people coming up with some alts for it. There's the Hazop. This box is a little bit shorter than the Recon Getaway, but it does, like the Recon Getaway, have a little tab for holding it. And we're going to go ahead and get this open. This is probably not the best way to be opening this box, but I think we can make it work. Okay. Did I cut the tape enough? It is open. There we go. That's all dumped out. The instructions. Wow, the instructions are actually a little booklet. The Recon Getaway had like this long list. That was the instructions. But that's pretty classy looking. Very nice. Very nice indeed. There's a shot of the set. That's pretty cool. I find it interesting that on all of these kind of artwork, there's always this wireframe peeking out in the corners. Does that mean it's a war sim, or I don't know. The back, got an ad for Halo Heroes. Here is the Hazop Spartan. I'm actually kind of excited for this figure because I have only ever gotten one Hazop Spartan, and he was kind of a little worse for wear. Pour those pieces out. The Grunt, and I am very worried, as usual, that his head is not going to want to go on there properly. Dump that out. Let's see, bag of parts and a bag of parts. Okay, let's put the Grunt's head on. It moves! Yes! That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. His arm kind of wobbles in the slot a little bit. That's less than fantastic. I don't really like that. I might be able to fix it, but here we go, Grunt. And let's put together this dude. He's got this dark tan color kind of for the lower arms and the lower legs. Come on, where is, there it is. You know, a lot of these figures come with the legs popped onto the waist, but you can't actually put the leg armor on until you take the legs off of the waist, so it's just an extra step. This metallic green looks really nice. Shoulder armor looks pretty nice. It's not loose. At least that one's not loose. And the head Boom, there we go. And we'll talk about that guy in a moment. Let's open up the parts. There we go. And you know what? Since this is such a small build, let me just go ahead and speed build it real quick. So with the magic of editing, let's go. There we go, we're done. There's the turret. We've got a little Covenant combat barrier. I don't know the name of this, actually. This is a fuel... Looks like energy canister, fuel canister. Somebody tell me what that's called in the comments, because I don't know. The instructions show you to put it together like that, but you can also kind of have it like that. It's got this long see-through blue piece in the center. That's pretty cool. And I think these are the things that you can throw in Halo Infinite and yeet them and blow up turrets that way. So that's kind of cool. We got a whole bunch of these pieces. Extra ammo for the turret. We'll look at that later. For now, let's actually start with the figures. This is the Grunt. It's about as simple as a Grunt can get. The head moves, as you saw. Whoops. As you saw, as I was opening, the head moves. So no issue there. This seam is a little on the big side, but that's kind of how it is with the other Grunts. And then the arm kind of bobbles around in that socket. It doesn't seem like it's going to fall off, but it bobbles around, and that doesn't feel right. So I might have to try and fix that. This guy is identical to the one from the Recon Getaway. Only difference is the weapon. One has a plasma pistol, other one has a needler. So, you know, it's another Grunt, and you can never have too many Grunts. This Hazop, though, that is a nice looking figure. Like, really nice. The visor is applied quite well. That's very nice looking. The print down around kind of the mouth area is a little on the thin side, but it's mostly lined up well. Looks pretty good. I'll give you a close-up of that head in a moment. The knife there is printed, which is very cool. There's not much in the way of printing for this guy, other than, you know, the head and the knife. The lower arms and legs are that dark tan. He has a gray tactical shotgun, which is a very nice looking weapon. Let's see him next to the Mark 7 from the Skiff Intercept. He looks to be a little darker than the Mark 7, but he matches the Gungnir from the Heroes series. quite well. They've even got the same, I think it's the same color mostly the same color lower arms and legs. It looks like the Gungnir's might be a little bit lighter, but I think that's probably more of an accident of production than purpose. So let's take a closer look at that helmet. As usual, there's slight bit of variation in the metallic green, like between the head and the armor, but you know, it's something that I'm sure most Mega Construx collectors are used to by now. You can see that visor, which is printed very nicely. Very nicely indeed. It's a little bit thin on this side, but I mean, it's so minor that you can barely even see it. The gray on there, you can see what I was talking about. It's a little thin. The box showed it a lot thicker and kind of stretching across. In fact, let me grab the box. You see there. Sorry about it being sideways, but I can't fit it any other way. You see? So I'm not sure what's more inaccurate, the box or the figure itself, but I think it looks good. The armor does restrict the head a bit, which on the box it shows no restriction at all. And that kind of ticks me off because that is not true. You cannot quite pose it the way it shows on the box without popping it off. But you can get most poses for the most part. And it looks like he does have a splotch of gold on the back of his helmet, but it is the back of the helmet, so that's not too big of a deal. There is the combat barrier. It's literally just 4 pieces, but it's very effective. You can stick your Grunt behind there. He can poke through and shoot. So I really like this. I think it's a nice support terrain piece, and they didn't have to include it. It would have been a fine set without it, but they did, and I'm really happy with that. There's the turret itself. And to be honest, I kind of think it looks a little bit ugly. Like, I don't know if this is supposed to be one of the shade turrets from like the earlier games or not, but it's a little ugly. Like, the design overall is pretty good, but I think these shooters here, especially with the exposed studs on the top, just kind of look weird. There are some controls on there, which is nice, and these fold, so you could fold it like that for transport, or you could fold them all the way out straight like that. That's how you're supposed to pose it, though. And then the Grunt can hold onto the controls, and he can kind of stand on there. And unless like these legs move the turret kind of like a crab, there's really no movement to it. It's just point and shoot. Speaking of shooting, goodness, wow, okay, that has a lot more force than I was expecting. And as I showed before, you get 2 to put in there and 4 extras. And the way those things shoot, you kind of need those 4 extra. Alright, so that's about it for the set. And what's the final verdict on this one? This one, to me, was kind of a out of left field, just kind of popped up one day. It was like, hey, guys, by the way, there's going to be this little tiny set available at Dollar General. And I just happened to cross it, and I think it's actually a pretty nice set. I mean, the turret is a little on the ugly side, but it does have some nice pieces to it if you didn't even want to build the turret. You know, it's got these shooters that are actually pretty fun, despite looking kind of ugly. And, you know, it works well. We got this little fuel cell, you know, you can yeet that at the Grunt. Got the combat barrier, got the excellent Hazop Spartan, extra Grunt. I mean, you can never ever have too many Grunts. I can keep saying that. He did have the weird little thing with his arm bobbling in the socket, but aside from that, the production quality of this set is pretty good. You saw in the box the retail is $10. I think that's definitely a fair price for this. So if you can find this, I say go ahead and get it. Maybe even more than one if you want some more grunts, because I was actually surprised at how good of a little set this is. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.